Good morning, students. Welcome to the online class for Standard 8. We are going to read the second chapter of English literature, a beautiful poem, Granny's Tree Climbing, written by Ruskin Bond. Before proceeding towards the poem, let's know about the author. Ruskin Bond, he was born in 1934, has written many books for children, some dealing with his own childhood, others dealing with the lives of contemporary Indian children. Bond spent his childhood at his grandparents' house in Dehradun, where he grew up in the company of a number of pets. He developed a deep love for nature, which is evident in most of his works. If you remember the story in which Tutu the monkey created a lot of trouble, do you remember it? Yes, the name of the story is Monkey Trouble. You have read it in class 7. So, this story is also written by Ruskin Bond. And this particular poem, Granny's Tree Climbing, shares the love of nature of poet's grandmother. So, it has been taken from An Island of Trees, which is a collection of short stories and poems dealing exclusively with Bond's love for nature. So, from which book he has taken this poem? Yes, it's the book An Island of Trees. So, the name of the poem is Granny's Tree Climbing and it's written by Ruskin Bond. So, let's come to the pre reading task. Which of the following tasks do you associate with your grandmother? When you think about your grandmother, what things comes to your mind? That what she would be doing? Cooking, knitting, sewing, preparing the pickles, climbing trees. Does it come to your mind? So granny climbing a tree? Let's see. Question number 2. Have you ever climbed a tree? Did you find the task easy and enjoyable or difficult? Discuss with your friends some risks involved in climbing trees. So you can write down 2 or 3 risks which will be involved while climbing the trees in your homework copy. Next, question number 3. Do you know what a treetop house is? A house built on the tree. So you can see the picture here. Discuss with your friends how different living in a treetop house would be from living in an ordinary house. The house which we are living now is an ordinary simple house, but living in a treetop house would be a different experience. So you imagine that how the life will be different living in the treetop house and write down 2 or 3 points in your copy. Now come and read the poem. Let's recite the poem. My grandmother was a genius. You would like to know why? Because she could climb trees spreading over high. She would be up their branches in a trice. And mind you, when last she climbed a tree, she was 62. Ever since childhood, she had this gift for being happier in a tree than in a lift. And though as years went by, she would be told that climbing trees should stop when one grew old, and that growing old should be gone about gracefully, she would laugh and say, well, I will grow old disgracefully. I can do it better. And we had to agree, for in all the garden there wasn't a tree she hadn't been up at one time or another, having learned to climb from a loving brother. When she was 62, but it was feared by all that one day she would have a terrible fall. The outcome was different. When we were in town, she climbed a tree but and couldn't come down. We went to the rescue and then the doctor took Granny's temperature and said, I strongly recommend a quiet week in bed. We sighed with relief and tucked her up well. Poor Granny, for her it was like a brief season in hell, confined to her bedroom while every breeze whispered of summer and dancing leaves. But she held her peace till she felt stronger, then sat up and said, I will lie here no longer. And she called for my father and told him undaunted that a house in a treetop was what she now wanted. My dad knew his duties. He said, "That's all right. You will have what you want, dear. I will start work tonight." With my expert assistant, he soon finished the core, made her a tree-top house with windows and a door. So Granny moved up, and now every day I climb to her room with glasses and a tray. She sits there in state and drinks sherry with me, upholding her right to reside in a tree. So this is the poem. Okay, so this is the poem, and let's see what the poet wants to say in these lines. My grandmother was a genius. You would like to know why. So, when the poet begins the poem, he tells us that his grandmother was a genius. He was an expert. He has talent. And why she is genius? That because she could climb trees spreading or high. So, the poet asks us, do you know that his grandmother is a genius? And the reason is that she could climb trees. It could be spreading or high. So she had the ability to climb any kind of tree. So first two line means that the grandmother of the poet was a genius because she could climb any kind of trees. She would be up their branches in a thrice, and mind you, so what does this line mean? That she could climb the tree, she could go up to the branch, she could go up to the top in a thrice. Thrice meaning very quickly. So Granny could climb the tree, it could be of any kind, and she climbed the tree very quickly. And the poet is telling us that, mind you, when she last climbed the tree, how old was she? She was 62. At that age of 62, so she could climb the tree very easily, very quickly. Ever since childhood, she had had this gift for being happier in a tree than in a lift. So the grandmother felt very happy. She found peace while in among the trees. But here she says that even when she was a small kid, when she was a child, so she had this gift that she felt happy among the trees, not on the earth, not among in the house. And though as years went by, as the years passed, she would be told that climbing trees should stop when one grew old. So, Granny, last time, what was her age when she climbed the tree? 62. So, people told her that stop doing this. So, people asked her to stop climbing, that you have already, you have grown old and it could be dangerous. You could injure yourself. But let's see what was the reply and what the people said to Granny, that climbing trees should stop because it is not the activity of the old people. Some people told Granny that you should stop climbing the trees and you should grow old very gracefully, and that growing old should be gone about gracefully. People said to her that you should grow old very gracefully. And what was the reaction of Granny? She would laugh and say, "Well, I will grow old disgracefully." So, Granny never listened to the words of the people. When the people said her that you should stop climbing because you are growing old, so it is not the age to climb the tree, you should grow old gracefully without all these dangerous, risky things. But Granny would laugh and she said, "Okay, I will grow old disgracefully, so I can do it better." And we had to agree. So she told people that yes, she told everybody that she can do it better. What do you mean by it? It refers to climbing trees, that she can climb the trees better. So she had that gift. She was genius in climbing. So she had this gift. She can do it better. And everybody had to agree. We refers to the family members. So everybody had to agree because for in all the garden there wasn't a tree she hadn't been up at one time or another. So, in that garden, in the neighborhood, there was not a single tree which has not been climbed by the grandmother. So, the family members, everybody had to agree with her because she had this talent of climbing the trees, and there was not a single tree left. She had already climbed every one. So she had been up, she had climbed all the trees which were there in the garden. It could be one time or another. Having learned to climb from a loving brother when she was 6. So from whom she learnt it? From the brother. How old was she when she started learning climbing tree? She was 6 years old. So the poet says that the granny, she learned climbing from her brother when she was only 6 years old. So from the very young age, from the childhood, she had this ability to climb the tree, and she felt happy there, not here on the earth, not here in the house. So she was very happy in the trees. But it was feared by all that one day she would have a terrible fall. So the people, the family members, they were concerned for her. They always told her to stop climbing because she was growing old, and at this old age anything like climbing tree could be fatal. She could injure herself, and everybody feared. And what was that fear? That she would have a terrible fall and she will injure herself. It could be fatal, it could be dangerous, but the outcome was different. Outcome here means result, consequence. The outcome was different. While we were in town, she climbed a tree and couldn't come down. So Granny, who was an expert in climbing, what she did, that one day when all the family members had gone to the town and she was alone at home, so what she did, she climbed a tree. And what was the result? She got stuck there. She couldn't come down. So what everybody feared? That one day she would fall down from the tree. But no, she didn't fall. Rather, what happened? She got stuck there. She climbed a tree but couldn't come down. We went to the rescue, and then the doctor took Granny's temperature and said, so after that, what happened when the family members were informed? They went there and they, with much difficulty, they rescued her. They got her down. And because of that shock, what happened to Granny? So her temperature was high. The doctor was called, and the doctor said, I strongly recommend a quiet week in bed. Recommend here means advice. The doctor, I refers to here the doctor. The doctor said strongly that she must take a bed rest. For how many days? 7. So for a week she had to be in the bed. So what the doctor advised? A quiet week in bed. That means complete bed rest for a week. We sighed with relief and tucked her up well. So when the doctor advised a quiet week's bed rest, all the family members, they were happy. They sighed with relief. Sigh means take a deep breath. So everybody was happy. They were full of relaxation because now Granny would not climb any tree. She will rest for a while. She will rest for a week. And everybody was happy. And what they did, they tucked her up well. They took proper care of her. They nurtured her. They gave her good food, nutrition. So all the family members, they sighed with relief that now Granny would not climb any tree. She will take bed rest. They won't have to worry for her. And then what they did? They tucked her up well. They took proper care of her. But for Granny, what was this bed rest meant? Poor Granny, for her, it was like a brief season in hell, confined to her bedroom while every breeze whispered of summer and dancing leaves. So, what happened for Granny? Poor Granny. So, Granny was not at all happy. For her, it was like what? It was like a brief, a small season in hell. So, she didn't like that confinement. She didn't like that uh, this bed rest for a week. So it was like hell for her. She felt happy among the trees, but now she has to stay in the house for a complete 1 week. So it was like a brief season in hell. So here the poet has compared confinement or bed rest for 1 week with the season of hell, season in hell. So it is a comparison. What is the poetic device used here? Simile. By using the word like, the poet has compared the confinement of 1 week to the season in hell. Confined to her bedroom, what was she doing? She was listening to the whispers of summer, while every breeze, wind, whispered of summer and dancing leaves. So here these two words, breeze, that wind, and the leaves are personified. They are given the attributes or the qualities of person, human beings. So the wind came and whispered in the ears of the grandma, and the leaves were dancing, which attracted her. But what she was doing, she was taking bed rest, complete bed rest. She couldn't move from there. But she held her peace till she felt stronger, then sat up and said, I will lie here no longer. The granny, what happened? After the doctor recommended a quiet week for rest, and she had no option, she had to take rest. She couldn't go out and climb the tree, she could not go outside, rather she had to stay inside that bedroom for 1 long week. She stayed there. It felt like a season in hell, and she listened to the winds which were whispering of summer, which were telling the summer is here, and the leaves were dancing. But she didn't go anywhere. She waited for her recovery. When she felt stronger, she sat up and said, what she said? That I will lie here no longer. I will not stay here. Enough is enough. Now I will not lie. I will not be here anymore. And she called for my father and told him undaunted. What is the meaning of undaunted? It is given there firmly and enthusiastically. So the word is mistake there. So it is enthusiastically. So, and she called for my father. My father means poet's father, son of the grandma, and told him firmly that what she now want, that a house in a treetop was what she now wanted. So she was fed up living in the house. Now she wants a treetop house. She told the father, she told my father, that means she told her son that she wanted a treetop house. And my father, who was a dutiful son, who was an obedient person, who loved his mother, so what he did, my dad knew his duties. So he was a dutiful son. He said, that's all right, you will have what you want, dear. I will start work tonight. The father gave assurance to the mother that don't worry. The son gave assurance that he will start working tonight. He will start preparing, building a treetop house for Granny with my expert assistants. So, whose assistants here refers to? Poets. He soon finished the core. Core means his job. So, what was the job? Building a treetop house with the help of, with the expert assistants here. Assistants means help. With the help of the poet, the father completed his job, and made her a treat house with windows and a door. So there were windows and doors in that treetop house. So my dad knew his duties and he said, that's all right, you will have what you want, dear. I will start work tonight. With my expert assistance, he soon finished the core, made her a tree house with windows and a door. So, when the grandma said that she will not live there anymore, she wanted a treetop house. The father, that means the son of grandma, so he said, "Dear, I will prepare what you want, your wish will be fulfilled." So, from the next night or from tonight, from that very moment, he went and started working or started building the treetop house, which had windows and a door. So Granny moved up, and now every day I climb her room with glasses and a tray. She sits there in state and drinks sherry with me, upholding her right to reside in a tree. So now what happened? Now Granny is very happy. She is excited. Her dream is fulfilled. Her wish is granted. And she moved up. Here, up refers to, yes, the tree house. And now every day what happens? The grandson, the poet, he climbs to her room which was there on the treetop. So with what? He carries with him? Glasses and a tray. And she sits there in state of a in grand style. So she is very happy. Her wish is fulfilled. So she sits there in grand style, and what she drinks with the poet? Sherry, a kind of wine. They enjoy sherry and upholding her right to reside in a tree. So now she has this right to live in that tree. So the house belonged to her. She has all the rights. So she lives there in grand style with all the possession. She is full of happiness because her dream, her wish is fulfilled. So she now is there in the treetop house enjoying each and every moment. And the poet, he goes there every day with the glasses and a tray. They enjoy the drink, and grandma sits there in great peace, in grand style, and enjoys living there. So, this is all about the poem. I hope you have understood. Now let's come to the literary devices in the poem Granny's Tree Climbing. So while discussing the poem, I had already told you that in the poem, poor Granny, for her it was like a brief season in hell. So this is, you can find out, yes, you can find out in this line, poor Granny, yes, of course, here it is. Uh, Poor Granny, for her, fourth line, poor Granny, for her it was like a brief season in hell. So like, the word like has been used here while comparing two things. So it is, the poetic device is simile, simile, not smile. Okay, it is simile. So next, personification. So I have told you in the poem that uh, while every breeze whispered of summer and dancing leaves. You can see the example in the poem that breeze, the wind, and the leaves, they are personified. They are given the quality of a person. So, what is it? Personification, a figure of speech in which a thing, an idea, or an animal is given human attributes. Attributes means qualities. The non human objects are portrayed in such a way that we feel they have the ability to act like human beings. Example, the breeze and the leaves. So the breeze is whispering, talking in a low tone, and the leaves, they are dancing. So which device has been used here? Figure of speech? Yes, personification. Then alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of the consonant sound. Example, she sits there in state. The last part, you can find this line, she sits there in state. S sound is repeated. So it is the example of alliteration. And there is another line, growing old should be gone disgracefully. Growing old should be gone about gracefully. So GG sound has been repeated. So in these two lines, alliteration has been used. You can find out some more also from the poem. And what the rhyme scheme, you can see that the first line and the second line, they rhyme with each other. Day, tray. If you give the symbol A to day, tray will be same. A, me, different. B, tree, different. And same with the third line, so it will be B. So first one and second line rhyme with each other, that is AA, and third and fourth line they rhyme with each other, that is BB. So the rhyme scheme of the poem is AABB. So first two lines rhyme with each other and the last two lines rhyme with each other, and this has been followed throughout the poem. So this is the rhyme scheme of the poem. Now come to the understanding of the poem. On the basis of your understanding of the poem, answer the following questions in word 1 or phrase. We will discuss the answers. You will write down in your copy, classwork copy. So with one word or phrase you will write down, not the whole sentence. So at what age did Granny learn climbing trees? Can anybody answer? Yes, it is 6 years. Who taught her the art of climbing trees? Her brother. How old was she when she last climbed a tree? It was 62 years. In which season did she get trapped in? From where you will get the answer? Every breeze whispered of summer. So from that you will get the answer that it was which season? Summer. For how long was she advised to take rest after being rescued? When the family members rescued her and the doctor advised her for how many, uh, for how long? You can write down a week or 7 days, you can write down. So she was advised a week bed rest. Okay, so what the answer will be? A week. Who made a treetop house for her? Her son, grandma's son, the father of the poet. So here I will write down her son. 7 number. What things does the narrator carry to his granny's treetop house daily? Glasses and a tray. So these are the things which you will write down. Next, we sighed with relief and tucked her up well. Poor granny, for her it was like a brief season in hell, confined to her bedroom while every breeze whispered of summer and dancing leaves. So let's discuss the things and you will write down. This is your homework. Why did the narrator and his family sigh in relief? Because now grandmother wouldn't go out and climb tree. They don't have to worry for her. She is confined now in the bed. Why did she find it a brief season in hell? Because she never liked to stay there in the house. She wanted to climb the tree. She felt happy among the trees. So, confinement in the bed for 1 week was like a brief season in hell for her. How did she finally get rid of this season in hell? You can write there are two things you can write on. First, when she got stronger, she asked her son to make a treetop house. When it was built, she got rid of this season in hell. But it was feared by all that one day she would have a terrible fall. The outcome was different. What did everyone fear? Everyone feared that Granny would have a terrible fall. What was this outcome? This outcome was different. She climbed a tree. So, what was this outcome? This outcome was the result. And how it was different? That everybody expected she would climb a tree and she would have a terrible fall, but she got stuck there. Ever since childhood, she had this gift for being happier than in a lift. So, who does she refer here? She refers to the granny. What was the gift she had? What is that gift? That why she was genius? That she could climb any kind of tree. Where was she happier? Among the trees. I strongly recommend a quiet week in bed. What happened to Granny? So Granny got shocked. She got stuck in among the trees. She couldn't come down. What did the doctor advise? A complete bed rest for 1 week. How did she feel? She felt like a brief season in hell. So these are the answers we have discussed. What is your work? You will write down these three things. Understanding the poem with one word. I am repeating again, with one word or phrase, not the whole sentence you have to write. Here, these things extracts. There are 4 extracts. So you have to write down these things in your classwork copy. If you have any doubt, you can share your queries. So through our website, we will discuss that. So till then, goodbye.